no doubt. East 10th Street where we play out. Here we bring the Miami crowd. Alex, the boy with the B. Step into rhythm, feel the heat. Street vibes mixing with the Latin tree. In our flow, the two worlds meet. East 10th Street boys bring the party. Bring the noise from Hialeah with some joy.
Drink water like that. Well, I'm telling you, bro. I'm focused, bro. I'm focused, man. Yeah, inside out.
You know who I am by now.
So you identify as.
You know, hey. When Alex takes a shower, the dude goes for 3 hours. I mean, it's like, you know he's going to be gone for a while. You have time. Do whatever you're going to do. Go grocery shopping. Go eat dinner.
Latin spice and neon lights.
Good morning, Miami, Hialeah, everywhere else. Thank you all for joining us here. We're on some Cuban time now. We were supposed to start at 10 a.m. Eastern. We're here at 10:28 a.m., 9:28 my time. I got my coffee ready to go here. And Alex is there in Doral, sunny Doral. So he's actually sort of on location, but we are here ready to go. We're not on a time crunch. You know, we're not on our pregame show, which has been awesome. It's just been weird for Alex and I because we talk to each other, we get to interact, and it's kind of like just straightforward. Let's talk about the game, and you know, maybe we'll have a different thing now because the last times we've done this show pregame interactive, the Dolphins have not won a game. We're 0-3, so maybe tomorrow we'll get our first victory, but until then, we'll get there. Everyone popping in. Phins Sammy in the house. Good morning, sir. In Puerto Rico. Yes, I said Puerto Rico. Zach.
We got to make shirts, bro. We got to make shirts.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to invest in some shirts, maybe. National Strawberry Cream Pie Day from Zach. Appreciate you. Damien, good morning. Bring me Crosby or McDavid.
Natural what?
Strawberry
Cream Pie Day?
Yeah, Zach comes in with clutch every day.
When did this start, man? Like
Zach just did it one day. He just started doing it, and I think it's great. I think it's great. Yes, big news for the Florida Panthers. We will talk about Alexander Barkov out for the season, injured during a practice, which absolutely sucks. I actually got his jersey for my birthday. Todd got me a jersey this year with Barkov. The captain jersey, which is awesome. I love it. It's one of my favorite jerseys in my collection. And of course, the season I got the jersey, he gets hurt. So, you know, I was like, son of a bitch, you know.
Damn you, Tati. Damn you.
Yeah. You know, Lou, what's up, Lou? Good morning, sir.
Morning, Lou.
Buenos dias, Lou.
Oh, nice.
Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Buenos dias.
No, don't make me repeat it. I said Puerto Rico.
That's what I guess.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto.
Cuba.
Why do you have to add the before everything?
Cuba.
Cuba. Sprite.
You want a Coke?
A Coke.
Yeah, man.
Puerto Rico. Yes, I said.
I can never do the. I can't do the.
That is the toughest for a non-Spanish speaker to do.
Audrey can do it, but I can't do the.
Oh my God, Bobby, can you do dame un grr?
The what?
Dame un grr.
Is that dirty? That's I know dame means give me. What do you? Nah, I ain't gonna say it.
It's just part of a song now. It's kind of like a 6.
Yeah. Dame de
Gru from the Minions. Just think of Gru from the Minions, but roll the R's.
I'm not gonna do it.
Dame un grr.
I can't do it. I can't. I can roll my tongue in other ways, but not there.
Whoa!
It's Sunday morning, but I'm ready to go.
I'm
ready to go. Mofongo. I got my Golden Girls shirt ready to go because there's multiple meanings here. First of all, I'm old school. I used to watch the Golden Girls, and then you had All in the Family, the Jeffersons. That's the first part. I love this. And then, of course, Miami. They were based in Miami. I know what part of Miami, obviously the rich part. And then,
Boca Raton.
Thank you for being a friend. So it kind of matches the whole deal with it, Can you guys talk about on which the Panthers might get or trade for? I've saw that when it comes to Barkov, I've seen some names thrown out there. Honest, Damien, it's too early to tell. I will say this about the Florida Panthers. They have such a lineup where like one guy, if a guy actually comes out, kind of like with Kachuk, they can have another guy step up and step in. I trust what they're going to do.
And I feel
I don't know which is
for Evan. We could ask Evan this, and he can help us out with this because he's way more knowledgeable in this regard.
Good morning, DSG. Bobby sounds like he's purring. Brrr. I don't know. I can't do it. I just can't do it. I can't do it. But I'll ask you this, Damien. With Barkov being out, there's a question for you. With Barkov being out, how does that impact the Panthers for you? Do you see them? Does that impact to go for a three-peat? Because he's out for the entire season. With still the guys that they have on the roster.
And what Lou says is a good point here. They do get flexibility.
If he's out for this amount of time, they get amount of money. I saw that. I don't have the right numbers.
Yeah.
So, they might be able to make a move to right away make a replacement for him. McDavid, I think, is a rich dream. That would be great, but that would be a rich dream, if that actually went down. Bobby, good morning, sir, from the Die Bar podcast. Bobby, again, was on with me yesterday for Phins Talk today. We were talking, Alex, yesterday about if the season continues the way it's going for Miami, the Dolphins, and if they're they fire McDaniel, who's that next coach? Who do you want in the next coach? It was a great conversation. Maybe we could have that a little bit just on your end of it.
For sure.
But that was shout out to Bobby and the Die Bar podcast, his show Tuesday night. It was a great show yesterday for sure. We had a blast, and we talked after. We had a blast after that as well. And man, big things. So very excited. Give me Crosby. That would be cool. And if anybody could get it done, it's the Panthers GM. DSG, screw the Dolphins, pure trash. Wow. I wouldn't go.
Come on,
I
DSG.
mean, I don't want to say I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't go there because that's my team. But their what do you call that? Their production and what they put out has been trash. What they put out there has been trash. But
I'm dissecting this DSG label. DSG, is that anything related to do with Dick Sporting's Good label? What is the name? Is that his name, or that's just a
Dick Sporting Good label?
This Sporting Good
label. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I was just reading it because I feel bad sometimes we call people by like these names.
He said no.
I'm always on a personal level.
Yeah, see right there. He's trust Bill Zito all the way. He pushes all the exactly. That's who you trust.
Yes, Russ. Yes. Because there's nothing better than to screw Mets fans. Goddamn right. Hell of a season. We're eliminated from the playoffs, but we saved our 3 aces for the Mets this weekend.
So I think, Russ, I forgot to message you back yesterday. I saw your message. Forgive me. Tonight should be okay. I would have to set that up if that's what you're still doing. For your episode tonight for On Deck, kind of talking about the playoffs. And he's talking, of course, he will be on pregame tomorrow talking Dolphins Jets because he is our resident Jets fan.
Oh man, I gotta somehow pop in somewhere because we gotta triple team these Jets fans, man.
You want to what? What'd you say? What'd you say?
The what?
You said you want a triple team? That's no.
Whoa,
what?
Whoa.
Why,
Bobby? Jesus
Come
Christ,
on.
man.
Dude.
Come on, man.
Why'd you roll the R's? Nasty ass. Listen, man, shout out to the Miami Marlins. What's crazy is they should never have been in that. They should never have been there the way it started.
No.
And for them to be, 3 games out?
Yeah. They were in it until the end. And through the ups and downs of what every young team's going to experience. Crazy losing streaks, crazy winning streaks. But he has to be manager of the year. It's
some good stuff. It's just, it leaves you wanting more. And it's like, damn, dude, I wish it never ended and I want to go.
Yeah. But it's a building block. So now
I am going. Oh, man. Mario's had a great season. Yeah, Alex's head is somewhere else, bro. Isn't it? Oh, playoff baseball. It's like playoff hockey. You know, it's so much better. But yeah, where the Marlins were to where they are now, where how they ended, you got to be proud of that because they had no reason to be there. You know, the Dolphins have no reason to be 0-3. You know, and it's like you look at it, you go, how the hell are they 0-3? But the Marlins, you know, it's like I can understand why they'll be out of it. Why nobody believed at it at first, and then see where they went or where they are. It's like you can't be nothing but proud of that and excited for what's next.
Yeah, and
they're
on that Panther slope a little bit. People forget about the Panthers before what we know of the Panthers. Think about this. Where you just mentioned about the Panthers that we trust Bill Cito, whatever he's going to do, whatever pieces he might add with this injury-riddled team, and we're expecting a championship based on how the roster is built. The Marlins are on that climb. I want to say 5 years ago from the Panthers, where they were kind of still struggling, battling 500, but you saw the young talent developing. So this year they've been able to identify a lot of pieces that are going to be long-term with the franchise. And I still expect a couple moves in the offseason in regards to some of our pitchers being dealt. But definitely this is a building block. If they do this right this offseason, they will capture every fan back into that from that fan base. They cannot just fuck it up. You can't sell any part of this team right now. If you build the right way, this offseason is critical for the fans because they're ending on a high note where the fans were intrigued. They were going to the games. So you already got them captured there. Now you got to maintain them, and you got to build long-term success. Yep. Hey, Peter Bendis has hit on almost every single move that he's done.
Have you guys tried the new Oreo Reese's collab? I have not.
No, I have not
tried that yet. I think I just saw it yesterday. I didn't grab it, but I think I just saw it. But I have not tried it. Have you, DSG? And you like it?
Have you seen the Selena Gomez one? What is that one?
I don't know, and I have not.
Like I just walked by Walmart and I saw like a big Oreo.
First of all,
Selena Gomez. I'm like, what? What is this one?
First of all, the size is about this, and it's $1 more. I'm not buying that for a freaking design. Okay,
something that you're gonna eat.
Like, yeah. All the way. Yeah. What am I going to? So he says it's clutch. There you go. It's clutch. There you go. So there's our first rating of the Reese's Oreos collab. So I guess we will have to try it.
Okay.
We will have to try it and then let you all know what we've thought about it. Sounds like something I'd want to dunk into. Yeah, there you go. That would be it. No, I don't know if we want to try that. You throw up, with the soap and the milk, but that actually is pretty. It's
not bad.
Like you dump the bar of Sydney Sweeney's bath soap thing in there. You dip the Oreo and you try it. And you say, okay, boom. This is what it is.
Boom. It was limited edition, man. Limited.
You had to do it. You had to do it, bro. You gotta.
Yeah, he's still bathing with it
every day. Every day. No. What is this? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry. Don't touch it.
There's no images.
With a lock. It's just
walked in the house with a black bag. You don't want nobody to see what's inside. It's like
get away from the closet. Get away from the door, son. Get away from the door.
Get out of there. Touch that soap. That's my soap.
Yeah.
What? Alex,
what are you doing?
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? It's too early for that shit. What are you doing? Licking the soap too? I'm rolling my R's, Bobby. What?
What?
What are we doing?
How many R's are in that word? 15? Good job.
You remember that commercial with the lollipop? How many licks do you get?
Yeah, the Tootsie Roll Pop. And the same owl always fucking with people.
Stupid ass owl.
Those are classic commercials, man. We had great commercials. Do you remember the Nessie? Was it Lipton or Nestea? What, like the guy with the ice, the Iceman with a snowman was like melting, and he would have the brisk. I think it was brisk iced tea, and he would get the brisk iced tea, and like he would rebuild himself. That was one of the coolest commercials, man. And I remember every summer when it was hot as hell and you saw the commercial, you wanted to go buy a brisk iced tea just because of that.
And nothing was better. On a hot day, man. Nothing was better, man. Nothing was better. But no, what type of moves can the Marlins make? Well, Russ is in the comments, DSG. Russ Morgan, host of the On Deck Baseball podcast. Not a Marlins fan, but a baseball fan, a Yankees fan, but he is pretty unbiased when it comes to giving information.
Yep.
If there's anybody who could tell you what the Marlins need or could go after, he's the guy. And I thought I read up a specific position. I'm losing my mind track here with what that was. But I'll tell you, I'm comfortable with Pete with the GM.
Bendix,
what he's doing.
And Russ, now that you're here, and I know you're better at talking, maybe you could elaborate a little bit. I know next year, for example, they're going to call Joe Mack up. Agustin Ramirez, the catcher now, might be a DH, first baseman. Do you think that one of the top priorities this offseason or in the next year or so, I know we got them under team control, but I think for the long term of security and fan enthusiasm, if they can come to an agreement with a contract extension for Jacob Marcy and Agustin Ramirez, those look like building blocks. Now you got Yuri Perez, you got a shit ton of pitcher, Bob, in the minor leagues. Thomas White, you have some position players that are going to be essentially big leaguers within a year or two. So this team, like I'm telling you, this team has the depth. But I'm intrigued to see if we can come to an extension, kind of like how we did with Sandy Alcantara, where it's a team friendly, where you buy out his option years, and then you just give him a longer extension there at a lower price. Oh, Kyle Stowers, that's true. An extension with Kyle Stowers. I'm telling you, this team has 3 to 4 building blocks right now on the roster. Noble Mayer, correct. And Russ, now how do you feel about Max Mayer? Because I know there's concern there with his long-term health because he seems to be injured quite often. But he was a hell of a pitcher. Bobby, I'm telling you, the rotation, man, even if you move Sandy, you got Yuri, you got Noble Mayer, you got Thomas White, you got Robbie Snelling. Weathers is coming back, the lefty, Ryan Weathers, which is Dave Weathers' son. There's depth there, man. There really is. We haven't had, I know we're young, and I know we caught lightning in a bottle this year, and we were the surprise of Major League Baseball realistically. I think there was no team that exceeded expectation more than the Marlins this year, realistically.
No, I mean, the whole league was watching, and that's every time I turn around, somebody outside Marlins stratosphere was talking about it.
Correct.
So that's just a cool thing to see. Roman Anthony is a name thrown out there. Baseball gives him 6 years of control, so Ramirez and Marcy are here for a long time.
Lou, that's what I mean. Like, we'll buy out the arbitration years, and either way, since they're going to be here for 6 years, I know we could go to arbitration every single year, but I don't know if psychologically, from a fan's perspective, if you agree to them, because for those 6 years, maybe you can sign them to like an 8-year deal at a cheaper price, because then once we got those 6 years of control, depending on where they are, if they take off, the salary that they're going to command is catastrophic, realistically, if you're going to keep all of them. Obviously, they're going to move some pieces, but it would just be like, I don't know, it would just be like a blessed surprise that if you can get them signed to like an 8-9 year deal, because, for example, Jacob Marcy, he looks like a legit everyday center fielder for the next decade. He's that all-around 5-tool player. So as a diehard Marlins fan, since I want to say baseball was my first love, and I've been playing it since I was like 7. And still remember vividly our 97 team, our 2003 team. I can't remember a team that I was as excited for a young nucleus. I want to say maybe when we had the Hanley teams, when the 03 team was developing, when we had Castillo, Gonzalez, and I know we signed Pudge, but kind of like all those players were kind of developed and acquired. But this team has the possibility of being successful for the next 10 plus years if the moves that are done subsequently are correct. And I do trust Peter Bendix will make that up, man, because we felt the same way about the Panthers, and look at where they are now. Right now, they are the most complete team. Even with the injuries, people still fear them as the most complete team in NHL.
I like that one. Lock them up and make the fans feel comfortable of buying player jerseys and gear. That's the thing. Like any team, when you're buying a team jersey, I always say, what player should I buy?
Yeah.
Go with a player that's been there long enough, and a guy, or maybe a guy who's retired, that played for your team. Don't go for a current player, because that's a guy that gets traded, Like when Tati was asking me when she was looking stuff up, she was like, hey, if I was to get you this, what player? I was like, Well, Barkov would probably be one because Barkov, he's the team captain. We draft him. He's been here forever. We 2 championships. You could easily say Kachuk, but Kachuk would probably be gone right. I don't know how long Kachuk will be here, but I know Barkov is a lifer. Even if they traded him tomorrow, his history's in stone already with the Panthers. Same thing with Dolphins. Go get yourself a Devon Aitchen jersey. Go get yourself a Tua jersey. Go to I don't want to say. Let's just say, yeah. Oh, go get yourself a Tua Tagovailoa jersey. And it's like,
yeah,
he could be gone next year. You're like, oh, what the hell, But like you said, go get Dan Marino. Plenty of jerseys still available. Go get yourself a Zach Thomas, a JT, an Art, a Ricky Williams. That. If we had that, Aaron, shut the DSG keeps bringing that up, man. He'll never let Aaron Rodgers. Scotty, good morning, sir. Prepping some barbecue. Love it, man. Up early, get some barbecue ready. It's gonna be a good day. Some football. How about that game? A lot of good college football yesterday. I'm already in on, I have been already, but now I'm hardcore in. I've been watching a lot more film on college football and studying prospects. And, and I was telling Josh Wingate, and, we're like, hey, man, what's the main focus? I was like, dude, everything for him. I think minus running back, even though you still watch running backs.
Yeah.
But I think minus running back, every other real position, O-line, D-line, interested linebacker, corner, safety, quarterback, receiver. That's
I want a tall receiver.
You just have, watch everything. There's not one position you shouldn't watch, but which ones do we focus on? And it's been fun so far. I've really enjoyed it. I think this has been a good year, and this will be a good year for Elevate. Like Drew Allard did not do himself any favors yesterday. Dante Moore, maybe out of Oregon. He looked good. It was a good game, Oregon and Penn State, or a good game to watch. But that was decent. A guy that's caught my attention is a guy that's got my attention. No, well, Lenar Sellers always. I love Lenar Sellers from South Carolina. I do. I really do. And there was a play yesterday I put on because there was that game and the Oregon Penn State game, and I told my son, these are games we want to watch because especially not just the tight end out of Oregon, which shout out to Daniel, brought it up yesterday. That's a guy to watch. But the quarterbacks, we know we're all looking at quarterbacks. It's at that point now. Okay.
What's the wide receiver, the tall wide receiver from that plays with Sellers?
Nick Harper. I think NYC Harper.
Number 8, right? It's number 8.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I have him in my franchise. Oof. I moved him to tight end. And he's been a receiver forever, but he was having issues with catching. Moved him to tight end. He's a freaking killer. I just love him. I'm years later, by the way. New quarterback, new everything, and the owner and the coach of the Dolphins.
Who's your quarterback now?
Name is Jordan Marshall. I drafted him out of Auburn.
Okay,
he's the biggest arm, and I took away retired numbers. You know what I mean? I'm done with retired numbers.
So you just made that decision on your.
I did.
I'm gone. I own the shit.
It's like the Cowboys. You know what I mean? We're done with retired numbers. Like if you wear it, you've earned that number. I think you could live up to that number. So take that the way you want to take it. Just think about that.
But did you retire 13?
I did. I unretired.
For Marshall?
13. Marshall did, and he earned it. He's earned it. He's 2-time league MVP in 5 years. He's won Rookie of the Year. We've won 2 Super Bowls. All right. So yes, he's earned that number. All right. Okay. Don't come after Jordan Marshall. Okay.
Dan would like to have a word with him. So
Dan is in the booth eating a
he's in the booth.
He's sitting next to me. I told him you have to live with it, man. He has 2 Super Bowls, bro. How many Super Bowls did you win? No, I'm just
0, Dan. 0, Dano.
But I did it. I told my son, I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Well, his college number was 13, and so actually I had it. I changed it. It was, and then I was like, no, you know what? No, I'm not doing it.
It ends right now. It ends right now.
That's why we're not winning. We're retiring.
Not on my watch.
For what? And it is what it is. Anyway, back to reality. So, but the name I was going to bring up, that's really intriguing me. And I didn't see yesterday's game. I did see one play that looked, right on the money. I saw one play that was right on the money, and I was like, that's a freaking gorgeous pass. But this guy, I think he's 6'5", 220, the perfect quarterback size. And I was like, okay, I'm going to research this guy. And he's had a really good year so far this year. Last 2 years, you look at the numbers, like, okay, but you saw. But I watched some film from him last year. I watched some stuff. I watched his stuff on him this year, and I'm like, I like this guy. I like this kid. There's something intriguing about him. He's a good, and that's the kid out of Indiana, Fernando Mendoza.
Oh yes, dude.
Let me tell you something, dude. Russ knew Fernando Mendoza. I really like him. I really do. He's a guy that I don't think is getting talked too much about at the early end, and which is okay. I think he will rise up boards. And I'll tell you what, there's not just that. It's not just his arm. It's not just his size. It's not just what he's doing right now in Indiana. Man. You know where he was born?
Isn't he from here?
He's from Miami.
Yeah.
His grandparents are Cuban.
Didn't his dad play for UM?
I don't know. See,
I remember watching a UM Indiana game, and they were talking about Mendoza. That's when he was a freshman, I believe. Was he?
I have to look at that. I don't know, but I was because before I started writing down the notes and everything for our reports for the shows, I was like, oh, he's from Miami. It's kind of cool. He's born in Miami.
We weren't playing Indiana. We were playing. He used to play for Cal.
Yes, he played for Cal.
Yes, we were playing Cal.
Yeah, he played us last year. Yes. That's one of the games I watched. But anyway, I saw born in Miami. I was like, okay, cool. But then I read his thing, and I was like, Cuban immigrants, grandparents. And I'm like, okay, wait a second.
That's a perfect setup.
This is it. This is it. This is the guy.
Yep.
Imagine. I mean, this would be perfect. Think of the promotions. Think of this is a raw style. This is everything. So anyway, but that's we're a big area. Just I think I like him a lot. And he had a great game yesterday, where he's just had a very good year so far, and he's somebody that I have a real big eye on.
Is he projected as first round?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And he's flying up. He's gonna fly up. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Here you go.
There you go.
Played with Cristobal and okay. Wow, they're old.
Which is crazy that we probably. I wonder if we recruited him.
But I there you go. Save me a play. I know. Yeah, this QB class, that's the thing. This year is pretty solid, Scotty. And I'll tell you for this QB class that, wherever you are on the draft board, even in round one, right, you can make a play and go, I know I might be good with this guy, even if it's not the guy that the first guy that I wanted to get. Or depending on, if you get a guy if you're sitting there and I'm talking, there's some talking about QB, the first part of the offensive line class. I mean, you think Francis, I'm going to butcher his last name, but our tackle in Miami, our right tackle in Miami, he's solid as hell. You got the Utah guys, Fanu and who's the other one? I'm forgetting the name, but there's some really good tackles. Oh, there you go. No, he was going to Yale before Cal offered him. There you go. So, and Russ covers, of course, college football for College Blitz and Touchdown in Paradise. So, Russ is in on a lot of these guys. He doesn't watch just one team. He watches them all. But, hey, I'm telling you, Lou. I'm telling you, brother. And you heard it here. I remember you could ask my wife when I wrote, I have my it is what I tell you proof, I have notes for everything, but, what is it? You got, all this, right when I'm talking about the players, I'm watching, and what I do before I start watching, I start, size, height, weight, all this, what schools and all that. I mean, that's born in Miami. I was, that's cool. Okay. And I'm like, I read up a little, and it's like Cuban immigrants, and I'm like,
interesting.
And I was like, okay, gotta watch this guy, and I'm watching it. But actually, I watched it before, and I was like, this is it. This is the guy. This is it. But no, Lennar Sellers. You can't, that dude. He still is a pro. There's some stuff you got to work on, but the arm talent, he could beat you with his legs, beat you with his arm. There's something there. I'm gonna watch more of Dante Moore. Gonna watch a little. Drew Alar has not. He had a bad. He did not have a good game yesterday. I know a lot of people are off and on him. I'm still neutral on that. I haven't really. Been off and on. There's a whole other season left. You got to watch the film, maybe in the right situation, just maybe. So, a lot of people are like, oh, get me away from Drew Alar. I get it. but I'm not going to go there on any guy yet. I'm giving a lot of love to Mendoza, but he could totally fall off a cliff by the end of the season. I'm like, no, I want this guy. But Dante Moore definitely outplayed. I think Dante Moore had 3 touchdowns, no INTs. Did he have 300 plus yards? So there's a solid QB class, man. There really is. I know some people are on John Matier from Oklahoma. He's a dual threat guy. He could run, he could throw, he could, he's small. He's not small, but he's 6'1" in the cellar for sellers. There you go. Sell for sellers. Really hoping you get a reasonable ticket for that. There you go. Yeah, could be. It'd be a really good game, bro. Yeah. But he's talking about baseball, right? Baseball classic.
Yes,
But it is a good time really to be watching quarterbacks. And I will say, I know a lot of people say, "Oh, we can't get rid of Tua this year anyway." Never say never, but I'll try to help
you out with that, Russ. I may know a few people. I'll try to get you one.
He won't.
I will.
He won't.
Connected,
Russ.
Man. I'm connected. I got
Alex
you.
Will push you right up here, and then he'll just
DM me. Don't lie. Don't be lying, bro.
That sounds dirty.
I've always come through.
That sounds dirty.
Grrr.
Yeah. DM me right now. If you want these tickets, you better DM me.
DM me. Yep. And add some R's, bro. Add some R's.
Keep it dry. Oh, Tristan, that little douche yesterday. When he does things, he spits. It's like you can't just. He has a spit. I tell him, dude, stop. We were at dinner last night. I'm like, dude, stop. We're at the table, and I was like, you're spitting. It's really good. And he's like, and he just looks at you, and he's like, go, if you don't do it, I'm gonna smack you. He's like. It's like it's like it was hilarious. I'm like, man, they're insane right now. Cuba and San Juan. The tickets are insane in San Juan, and I don't care if we get rid of Tua. I'm still driving. No, so that's my thing with Scotty, right? Scotty's right. That's where I'm going.
Absolutely.
Because people are like, oh, you can't move on from Tua.
No.
You're stuck with him. No, you're not stuck with him.
No.
Even if you are one more season with him, that's actually best case scenario. Let's be real. Let's say you fire. The season goes to hell. You fire Mike McDaniel and Scotty. Forgive me, brother. Were you on the show yesterday? I don't know if you were. I don't think you were. I don't remember now that if you were in the show yesterday. We had a great show on Phins Talk today. I don't remember you there but it's a great show and you haven't checked in. But we're if or when we fire Coach McDaniel and you maybe get rid of her, even if you're quote unquote stuck with one more, you're not really stuck, because you should still be drafting QB very early on, whether that is the first round pick or second round pick, because there's so much good. Scotty, I think it would have been awesome, bro. We had a great show. We had Bobby Schaus of the Dive Bar podcast, Finn Stanza, of course, and Steve Malloy. And we were talking about the search for the next Miami Dolphins head coach if they were to make a change. And I mean, it was a fun discussion. And I see now I knew you weren't in there because I knew you would have been great with your talking points and what we would have discussed. We had a great show. It was a fun show. So if you can, please tune in from yesterday and throw your comment in there because I'd love to hear what you have to say, or you can just throw it in here. You just do me your 2 cents. I'll talk about it in just a second with Alex. But you're right. Even if you're stuck with Tua for one more season, you're not stuck not drafting quarterback. You could go number 1 and go get and keep Tua. That's actually best case scenario because then you don't have to rush your first round pick. You sit it behind Tua. You allow Tua to play it out. He's your bridge, right? And then you maybe Tua has a strong year, and you go, oh damn, dude, we drafted a guy. No, then you go ahead. That's your trade bait. Now you go and move Tua onto a team. You give you an extra couple draft picks, and you do it from there. The Giants dodged. The Giants bit the bullet and dropped Daniel Jones after year 2, and the Phins could do the same. Giants ended up with Dart. That's correct. Yes, Lou, 100%. And again, right? Like, so the Giants, that's right. They stuck with Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. They let it play out. They got their guy. They got Jackson Dart now, and they'll play it out and see what happens. Miami could do that. Go ahead and draft your guy. Stick with Tua for one more season. Let Tua be the guy and whatever. And then you go another year, turn the ball over.
Now, my question, Bobby, when you say that, I'm comparing right now, for example, Daniel Jones is kind of having a resurgency, kind of like how the way Sam Darnold did.
No, I was going to bring that up. Go ahead.
Okay. No. Go.
No. Say what you do, and then maybe that's where we're going. Go.
Do you think if Tua is dropped by Miami, do you see him going anywhere else and becoming a serviceable quarterback while playing to his strengths, because obviously Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold, they were rookies in the original team. They had bad offensive lines. Now they're in positions where they went to a better situation, quote unquote, for them. Do you see any scenario in the NFL where Tua can go and have a sort of a resurgency of Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold? Because, to be in fairness, Tua's had a better career for his original team with the Dolphins than Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold had with their original respective team, the Giants and the Jets. So I know we can correlate it, and obviously this year is not ended, but is there any other place in the NFL that you see Tua going in right now and be like, yeah, I could see him succeeding there?
I don't know if there is I don't know if there's a specific team, but can I see him going somewhere else and being successful?
Yeah,
absolutely. Because like you say, it's Sam Darnold. What Daniel Jones is looking like right now. Ryan Tannehill, who didn't have a great offensive line in Tennessee, but he had the structure. He had the running back. He had a he had good receivers. The foundation means something. I could see it happen because I said it the same thing when we were going to lose Ryan Tannehill. That was coming.
Yeah, right.
I say a fresh start is going to do him good, and it did. It did him great. He was in the AFC Championship game, and people go, "Oh, well, he had Derrick Henry." Yeah, he had Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry was there with Marcus Mariota, with I'm forgetting the guy, the coach's name, and they didn't do a damn thing. They didn't get nowhere near that. They were bouncing the wild card. Tannehill goes in there, and Tannehill is exactly what they needed, and they went to the AFC Championship game. I mean, there were fans going, man, dude, what did Miami do? It didn't matter what Miami did. It didn't matter if you could have kept Tannehill and he could have probably done the same, but he needed the fresh start, and he did well. Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, look, they get out of New York, and Darnold took a little different. He went to Minnesota and that kind of trade because he went to Carolina, did not work out, goes to Minnesota, jumps off the roof, blows it up, goes to now he's in Seattle and he's not doing half bad. You got Daniel Jones, goes from the Giants to Indianapolis Colts, and he's having a very good year so far, a strong year. So yes, I do believe a quarterback like Tua, especially like Tua, because he's better than them, right? And if you think about it, he's better than those two guys.
Correct.
He should have a better season, I think, with someone else because it's a fresh start. Here's where it comes in: the mental game, because I think that's fallen off, and I also think then health comes into issue. It seems like this year has been a regression with Tua.
Yeah.
I don't see the same. I don't see the same Tua Tagovailoa because we all know what his strengths and his weaknesses are. Whether you love him or you hate him or you think he's the guy or he's not the guy, whatever. Correct. I don't think anyone who's a Tua near or Tua non or non-Tua guy could sit there and say this is the same Tua that we're used to. It's not. There is something there, and then when you hear him after the game, Alex, and I know you are a positive guy and you try to joke around being homer and all that, but I know you always try to see the silver lining,
correct,
and whatever. Correct. But
extra defensive.
I mean, even you have to admit, I haven't talked to you really about this because you and I we haven't had a chance to.
Correct.
Even you have to admit, after these performances, even after last week, which was and we all say, better game than they used to do, but it still was. They lost, and it was still Zach Sealer made a boneheaded mistake, and Zach Sealer has not been what he usually is, and that's fine. Again, he's been great. He's just had a tough year. Everybody has a tough year, so I'm not hating on that. It happens. It sucks, and he had a boneheaded play. But Tua, this year, I mean, he's the most accurate quarterback in football. Oh, he's 5 for 4 INTs. He has a fumble. He threw a boneheaded interception at the end of the game there. It was a bad INT. Oh, I had color in my face. No, the replay show. There's a lot of talk after the game where you're kind of like, what is this? Like, where's the accountability? This is a different type of Tua. This is not the guy we know. It's been a regression on the field, but off the field, it's kind of like, he's telling Cam Newton, when he tells Cam Newton that, it's easy to say that from over there when you haven't done it or you don't do it and you're on a clicker. Are you talking to the former league MVP? Are you talking to a guy who took a team to a Super Bowl? Are you talking about a guy who, won national championship? What are you doing? What are you talking about right now? And it always taken, I think, but it's like taking out of context. It's like, no, but still, I want to hear accountability. I want to hear like, hey, you know what? I have to do better.
Correct.
So I will just say, no, there has been a regression. And I do believe that's where I would say, yes, I could easily say, you could easily say, if you want to bet money on it, yeah, you could probably bet money that Tua would do better elsewhere because it's a fresh start. But that stuff really does concern me for the player. That's where I'm like, can he get over that part there?
That's the thing that we haven't talked, obviously, since the Bills game. And I was very impressed with the effort. Once again, it was always, and this is something that didn't happen at the beginning, but now it seems like you're just waiting for the mistake to happen in the crucial moment, where it could be miscommunication, it could be him forcing a throw. What I have seen this year is a lot of more open options that he hasn't even seen. And usually he goes through his progressions and he finds the easiest route for the most part. That's why he's one of the most accurate ones. And his completion percentages have always been through the roof. Now, is it fixable? I think that's fixable. It's early on in the year, but you're getting to the point now, you're getting into scary territory because now you're going into your 4th and your 5th game. If you don't win these next 2, now you're 0-5. You're not 2-3. You can come back from 2-3. And the talent is still there. What impressed me the most about the Bills game is the defense actually looked competitive with one of the best teams in the league. And we were toe-to-toe with the Bills. And for a good, I want to say, 30 minutes of the game, you're like, holy shit, we're in this. Like, we look like a cohesive, complete team in certain spurts. And then comes the late game interception again, which seals his fate. And you're like, wow. And it sucks because you go from being ultra competitive for 3.5 quarters to then that feeling of like dejection. You're like, oh my God, here we go again. And I'm like, what happened? We were driving down the field. We were getting there. And then it was kind of like the chain penalty. Notice, realistically here, man, we're 4 plays. We're 4 plays away from being possibly 2-1. And there's situations that I'm just like, this is insane. How, and like I said, no excuses, because at the end of the day, you have to produce consistently. And one of the things you mentioned, Tua looks stronger, but he looks slower. He looks very undecisive at times. There was one of my favorite plays against the Bills is that when he took off and he flushed the pocket, and I think he slid. I forget if he got the first down or he picked up like a good chunk of yardage and he slid. And I'm like, holy shit, this is the first time I see Tua scramble in almost a year and a half. And I'm at the point where you need to be accountable. That whole shit talking and this, it doesn't work from him. You know, he's trying to be tougher for the media and all that. And he tries to be combative. I guess that's coming from a place where he's defending. He's ultra defensive. He's ultra deflecting right now in a lot of things. Before he's like, we're going to get it taken care of. I would appreciate that a little bit more. Like I said, we're not in his place getting constantly criticized. We don't know how he preps. He is a professional athlete. He's one of the most professional ones across the board, where he's always been accessible. He's always been polite, but you can kind of tell he's rubbing him off the wrong way. And he's coming up with these excuses. And look, we've started a lot of years with high promise. This year might be the complete opposite. Do I see them clicking? All they need is one complete effort, and this team will believe. The defense seems to be getting the ball rolling. They seem to be getting comfortable with one another. So, like I said, it's a long year. This year can really go either way. We can go completely in the cellar, and we start selling off certain players, or we can find a way to turn it around slowly. It's really going to show the maturity of Mike McDaniel, the maturity of Tua, the evolution of certain players. Darren Waller's going to play supposedly Monday night. How does that affect the offense? Is he going to be a positive to that? Is he going to add another wrinkle to it in these shorter routes? So are you going to use a run game correctly? Because you saw when you use your two-headed monster and Ollie Gordon and Devon Achane, they're your best playmakers realistically. So you have a product, you have stats that can confirm that this could work. It's just putting a complete game together. That is the part that has been elusive for us. We haven't been able to put a complete game together.
And that's how it was last year, too. There was a time where you were saying, even when they won, you're like, they have not played a complete game.
A complete game at all.
And so, but this time it's different. This time they're not winning at the beginning of the season. They're losing out at the beginning of the season. And they had, a loss is still a loss. Just like we'd say a win is a win. When you win's a win, no matter how they've won.
Yeah.
Well, they've lost, and that's the thing. And they lost off of a brain fart. We could say, oh, that was that was a better game than they should have played, But again, they still lost, and it was a bad loss. It was a decision at the end.
Correct.
And they press blame on whoever they want. They did it.
And you can feel McDaniels. You can see McDaniels' face when these mistakes happen. And I almost feel bad for him because he had his team prepared against the Bills. I got to give it to him there. He had his team prepared against the Bills offensively. The defense improved a lot, but you kind of feel the dejection. You're like, dude, when are we going to get over that hump? Are we ever going to get over that hump with Tua? Like now. Because the problems we're having with Tua now wasn't problems that we felt that we had before.
I think I said it like this. That game may have gave McDaniel. I don't want to say save. I think it gave McDaniel
a few extra weeks. Yeah.
A couple extra weeks. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I do think that game. That doesn't mean it's over. But I'm saying I think that game though did seal the fate of Tua's future at quarterback eventually. Like even if McDaniel, even if they kept McDaniel, I don't think I think it's kind of writing on the wall, and but we'll see because one could stay and one could leave, whatever. But when you hear like McDaniel, in order to win, you have to win, and you don't want to lose. That's how you win a game. And it's like, okay, coach, thank you.
We understood what he meant, but it's like
I think everybody understood what he meant. Kind of like
the way it came out. It was like,
but it's
we're gonna go there.
Dude, it's a lie. It's like I don't want to say it's SNL. It's not an SNL sketch. It's Mad TV. No. It's literally a Mad TV sketch. When you're watching, like when you hear that, you're like, it's like, how do you win the game? So Alex, tell me, how do you win a game? In order to win, you have to have more points than the other team. Yeah. And you're like, oh, that's funny. That's a good joke. What do you? No, I mean it. That's true. Yeah. You have to have the more points at the end of the game.
Yeah.
If they have 10, you have to have 12. Okay, coach. Cool.
It was. I understood it. I put the coach's hat on and I understood the philosophy because it's what we've talked about many times. Is I don't understand how teams change the mentality of I'm playing to not lose the game. That's a complete different mentality. I'm not saying you're always going to be on attack mode and you're always going to be ultra aggressive, but you got to play to win. A lot of teams play conservative to the point where I can lose this lead, and that to me is detrimental in great teams because great teams
you don't need a guy. I'm just saying this too. You don't need a guy, and forgive me, everyone. If you're still, I appreciate everyone who's watching right now. We got a lot of people watching in, tune in. Thank you. Hit that like, subscribe button if you're watching anywhere other than if you're on Twitter, X, Twitch, Facebook, wherever. We appreciate you guys watching. You could actually comment through Facebook, you comment through Twitch, but do me a favor, if you're anywhere other, come on over to YouTube, join the conversation. I was gonna say, I want to preference what I'm gonna say next. For this,
yes,
you don't have to be 6'7", major big guy, big loud dude to be the coach, a head football coach. There have been guys that are not that, soft spoken, whatever, who've been successful in this league. So I'm gonna say that. Follow up with this. When I hear McDaniel talk, whether to the media, and we've seen how he can talk to, we've seen him talk to the team. Honestly, Alex, you've coached on multiple levels, minor, school, high school, whatever. I coach. We've played for teams, right? Basketball, football. We've seen coaches before. We've had all types of coaches. But when I see him and I listen to him, and you like things like that, in order to win the game, you have to win the game. I'm thinking this is what grown men are listening to. And I've seen it's like, oh, but he's only talking to the media. That's not how he talks to the team. No, we've seen video of him talking to the team. We've seen Hard Knocks. We've seen, post game when they win and lose. And honestly, you're in that locker room, Alex. You've played. You play basketball, but it's still the same type of thing.
Yeah,
basketball is different with the type of coaches or whatever. But
it is.
Think about when I've been in a football locker room. So you do want a guy, even though you're like, you don't want somebody to get hard on you and whatever, just or whatever. But sometimes, that's not what I meant. But still, okay, I know how it came out. So I'll take it. I deserve it. I went there. I said the wrong word, but it's okay. 20th Century boys. I've earned that. That was my bad. Anyway. You're in the locker room, you want to just come on hard, just come at me.
They just keep coming at you, bro.
Come at me, bro. I'm ready. We're in the locker, showers are here. But oh god, that's so bad. I gotta stop. The something else came out. I was like, "We'll do it," but no,
don't do it. Don't do it.
No, but is that inspiring at all? Can someone like that truly inspire you? Like, again, you don't need the biggest guy. You could be McDaniel's size.
Yeah.
You could be McDaniel, but it's the persona. It's the personality. Like, yes, he could. I'm sure he could be a very You push him to the offensive coordinator position, I think he'll be a successful offensive coordinator. Yeah. He's focused just on the offense, not running the whole team. Yeah. He might have a better – he'll be the one when he goes off to another team, he gets laid off by Miami, he becomes an OC, maybe goes back to San Francisco, he's an OC, or maybe he goes somewhere else, be an OC. Oh, shit, he'll have a great offense. He'll be, tricks and all this whatnot. You go, damn, dude, look, oh, man. No, guess what? Because then he's in his element. He doesn't have to be running a team. He's not good. He's not demanding a football team. He's demanding a certain unit. He's telling them, hey guys, here's the whiteboard. I want you to do it here, gadget here. Ha ha ha. Let's laugh and giggle and whatever. Oh, now we have to shut up and listen to coach. He can't. I don't see that guy in him. And he's not. And I'm going to say this respectfully. And again, this is how it is right now, and how it's been the last couple seasons. I don't see a head coach.
No.
I see a guy. I see a offensive play caller, an offensive designer,
offensive genius.
I see an offensive guy masquerading as a head coach. He's in the wrong role right now. Doesn't mean he can't be of one day, but he's not right now. He's an offensive coordinator, offensive play caller, masquerading as a head coach. We do not have a head coach on this team. Legitimately, when I watch him and I hear him, I'm like, this is not a coach. This is not a head football coach. And I'm not saying you need, because, so the next guy has to be a hard ass. No, you don't always need a hard ass. Like but you do need a guy who's going to command and demand respect, who's going to say, hey, you know what? And I'm not saying he has to be, but you know what? Oh, coach, what about that INT at the end? Yeah, no, listen, we were in that game, but Tua knows better. He needs to follow through on that. He needs to get it into where the guys need to be. We don't call out to it. Hey man, he's 5 for 4. He has to do better protecting the football. He's the franchise quarterback. Put Tua on notice. Put your guys on notice. You don't see that with McDaniel.
No,
you don't see. It's when you have to win. To win the game, you have to win it. You don't want to lose it. That's how you win. So, are you talking about? So anyway, even though it's a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Unless somehow, some way, with the way Ross is, you never know. This should be it. We're probably at the end of this story.
Unless there's a massive turnaround.
That's again, it could change. But
he was a product of an opportunity in time where he was not the first choice to be a head coach. It came at a time when they were pursuing Sean Payton. A lot of fines came through. You're going through the whole Brian Flores dismissal, the lawsuits. So he had a great opportunity. And it's crazy what perception is. The way people saw McDaniel after the first or second year is not the way they see him now. Because at that time, he was a savior. He was a young hot shot. He was calling all the right plays, dialing up all the right schemes. And McDaniel's always been a type that, due to his lack of imposing physicality as a human being, the schemes that he does do the talking for him. His coaching did the talking for him. His relationships did the talking for him. So there's moments now where you see him, and yes, he's a very intellectual human being, very intelligent, a great play designer, great schematically. And like you mentioned, he's going to be great on the offensive side of the football, but he has to have a crash course in how do you organize a team. And he's not the Adam Gase type of failure in regards to being a head coach. That was another antisocial, can't communicate properly, very awkward with the media. McDaniel tries to be funny. He's definitely a player's coach.
There's been 3 coaches like that.
Oh yeah, Joe Philbin or Cam Cameron also. I would put Cam Cameron there.
But for sure. I mean, Cameron, but I know Joe Philbin, Gase, and McDaniel. Yeah. The thing with McDaniel, I will say, and I've said this before, because people, he's bad for Tua. Okay, fair enough, right? I mean, he's not, doesn't hold Tua accountable.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. But I'll tell you what he did do that you could always credit him for. for that short little span that we had. He unlocked the confidence into it. Now, of course,
Absolutely.
we're hating on that now because it's like, dude, now you got to call yourself out. Now you got to hold yourself. And now it was like, oh, I'm a turnover. I turn the ball over in bunches. Wow, that's a thing to say. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You have, dude. Like, but Alex, you want to have that self-confidence.
Yeah.
But dude, you got to call like, even as a player, you got to go, you know what, man, I put my team in a bad position. I can't do that.
Correct.
Even LeBron James does that. I have to play better. LeBron James, the greatest player in basketball now until he retires, right? Or has been. I've heard LeBron James call himself out. I've seen the star quarterbacks call themselves out or call their players out. And I've seen coaches call their stars out.
Yeah.
That's not happening in Miami.
He doesn't do, Mike McDaniel doesn't call out his players publicly. That's just who he is. So, like I said, we've seen him in Hard Knocks. We've seen him. We haven't seen him day to day, his relationship with every coach, because I think that also goes a long way. We only see him in the sidelines behavior, but there's also an in-depth relationship within that coaching staff, within the players, through their meetings. Because, when you see a soft-spoken guy that he doesn't impose his will or his because he seems to be like one person said, like counselor-wise, he's very psychological. So he's very methodical in a lot of things. He does have great structure. Like he's always want to be an NFL head coach. So he has great structure. The delivery part is the part that we struggle in. And unfortunately, the results are not there. If this team is 3-0, no one is questioning anything about McDaniel right now. If certain plays go our way, if Tua doesn't throw those 2 picks or doesn't throw that pick and fumble in the coach, if Tua doesn't throw that pick against Buffalo, even if we're 2-1, no one is talking about it right now. So it's kind of like an opportunity where he's hitched his wagon to Tua. So forevermore, he's going to be judged on how Tua does on the field, him, McDaniel, and him. That's why I always presented the question. Ideally, if McDaniel was running this organization, he did not inherit Tua. If he was drafting a quarterback, would he have chosen Tua? And I think unequivocally, we've all said no. I don't think he would. So it's an opportunity, and you're going to take that because you're going to get paid no matter what, even if you're fired. So our career choices are great. And like you said, you're rebounding, you become an OC somewhere, but right now you're like, you don't know how to feel. And it's on a game-to-game basis. Based on how we do tomorrow, it could change how we feel, how we win, how do we lose. And then you're like, if we lose, it revalidates everything we felt. And we're calling for change right away. If we win, like every fan, we're like, wow, we keep improving. And then the next week we win again. We're like, oh shit, he might have figured it out. And then we get to 500, like, oh shit, we're going to make some noise. So it's crazy how 2 to 3 weeks can determine or just swing the pendulum where we're in or we're out. And honestly, his job's on the line. I don't think he survives 0-5, 0-6. I really don't.
It's hard to. I'll tell you this. Like, you think, okay, we got the Jets, right? You go, okay, that should be a win. but that game should give everybody cause to pause because it's prime time, because it is the Jets.
Correct.
It's a division rival. They're both teams are 0-3, so no team is should be favored, and and
it should be a tie.
The Carolina game is the one where it's like that should be a win. Like, but if he loses tomorrow, if that team loses tomorrow on Monday Night Football, that's where it's like I think the fate is sealed. Yeah. And I see Scotty's comment there that Greer has to be the first to go. I think they're both tied at the hip right now. I think that statement at the beginning of the year before at the end of last year, with Stephen Ross said, their relationship, he made sure he said, but that's not the status quo. And Lou, you got to fill me in on that, bro. Somebody messaged, I think you made that post about the Ross's speech, and you have to fill me in about exactly what that was. But that was hilarious because I think somebody referenced that. And I'm like, I don't know if that was real or not, but I think Lou knows what I'm talking about. But very quick, Ross, I think Greer, if Miami loses, let's say they lose this week, and even if they lost against Carolina, which is like, oh, what the, because they're not, and even if they win Carolina, and then you got Baltimore, and then you got, you're effed at that point, really, but Mr. Clean Hialeah.
That's right.
Is that Tabs? Is that Rab?
Mr. Limpieza.
Is that Rabbit? What's up, girl? Is that Tabitha? Oh, wow. That is so cool. I think that's Tab. If it is,
it should be,
awesome.
right?
If it's another Tabs, appreciate you watching too.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Love you.
But if that's my Tabs, then that is epic. I love it. The Rab. Anyway.
You see? We don't even know if it's real or not anymore.
It was fake, man. He thought, yeah.
You see okay. You see
somebody referenced that to me, like, oh, F1 and this. And I'm like, I don't remember seeing that. And I was like, wait a second. I think my boy Lou did something. I gotta check with Lou. So good. All right. So there that was okay, it was Lou. All right, so Mr. Clean Alley version. That is the Rabs. There it is. Rabbit is in the house. That's my baby sister, guys. Show her some love. That's my baby sister right there, the Rabbit. She's not really a baby anymore. She's always a baby to me. So shout out to the Rabbit watching. I think it's the first time she actually watched. I love it. Oh, see, I can't see the picture from here. It's a red dot. The little YouTube thing is blocking it. But that's cool. So cool that the Rabbit's watching. So, I just love all the points. I love where we're going, and we'll stick with that. We'll stick with McDaniel.
Yeah.
Because that's a great conversation that we had yesterday. Again, Phins Talk today. If you guys haven't seen it yet, join on in. Go check out Phins Talk today. I was with Bobby from the Dive Bar, Finn Stanza, Steve Malloy. All great points. Great debate. Great back and forth. Lou is an evil genius. Lou knows how to stir the pot. He can stir the pot. I don't think he meant to do that. I think he was just being, but I loved it. I saw it. I was like, oh, no, that's not that. I think I know who did that. But anyway, so Alex. So yeah. I said, I know that the change hasn't happened yet. But, I think it didn't worth the discussion because, a lot of people, they go, oh, man, fire this guy, fire that guy. But it's like, okay, what's next?
Correct.
Who's that next guy? And I will say, I was saying for Chris Grier very quick. I'm sorry. If Miami, I do believe Miami will fire Chris Grier as GM. I don't think he'll be going elsewhere. I think he'll just be moved to another position within the Dolphins, and then the Dolphins will hire their guy. And yes, tomorrow night, Tabitha and Mom are going to the Monday Night Football game to check out the Jets versus the Dolphins. You got the rivalry uniforms. So excited to see them lose in real life. There you go.
Unbelievable.
She knows.
Should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah. But, I just love that they're going. And what it's so cool.
It's a beautiful day. It really is.
It is. It's tributing our boy Ralphie boy there. So that's awesome. All right, back to it. So if they do, they'll promote Chris Grier to something else, advisor or whatever, and then we'll go get a GM. Whether that's promoting from within, and I know people hate that, I get it, but you got Marvin Allen there. Does he move up, or does the Dolphins look outside, or do they say, okay, if we fire the smart move, probably would be go look for a head coach. And if they go for somebody put in there, John Harbaugh, things aren't looking peachy in Baltimore. If John Harbaugh gets moved out, do you go and talk to him? And if you go get that veteran coach, there you go, Scotty. See this. I wish Scotty was in the comments.
I think this is dead on, except with the DC part. But it all depends what happens with Weaver. But I do agree with absolutely everything.
Well, Scotty hates Weaver. Scotty wants Weaver gone.
Yeah,
which again, Weaver as defensive coordinator has not lived up to those expectations whatsoever. So I hope to see your mom on this show soon. She should be on the show soon. She's to be on Phins Talk today when she feels up to it. The plan is for her to come on. We'll be doing a show together, so that'll be a lot of fun. If you think I'm crazy, us together is even crazier. Insane. So we'll have a blast. Tammy from Miami. So, anywho, again, they get rid of that. We see who the interim head coach is. That interim head coach, whether that's Darrell Bevel or Anthony Weaver, much to Scotty's dismay, it is what it is. I think I'll tell you this. I think you go with Anthony Weaver as your interim coach just to get that out of the way. see what it is, because you know what, the league loves him, you know, so you get the chance, and it kind of clears some stuff up to go ahead and interview see other guys and whatever. I want to ask you this. I'm going to ask you, because I said yesterday, what if Miami were to let go of Mike McDaniel? Who would be? What do you want in the next head coach for the Miami Dolphins? What are you looking for? Would you prefer that hotshot candidate, or do you want a former coach, somebody who's already been a head coach, or is there a college coach? Is there, or are you looking everywhere? Or are you like, no, specifically, I want a former head coach, because that's because I like, for us, that's the conversation we want, that former head coach.
Yeah,
I'm not against anybody, but there are like hotshot coordinators. That is like at the back of the line. Like and college coaches at the back of the line. Not interested. Veteran head coaches is where I'm at. But you don't have to name names right now. We'll throw it.
Well, I got one that I like.
Okay.
But it all depends on who you hire to run football operations. Like you said, if these are on interim basis, depending on who you hire, they might go a different route. And you do have a young team. So I think if you hit on the coordinator correctly, I think you're going to be successful, because this is something that I believe you got to start unequivocally from fresh every single position, in my opinion. Once again, I don't want to hire a head coach that is tied down to a quarterback from a previous regime. I don't want to hire a coach that is tied to the GM from the previous regime. You got to clean house.
No, it has to be clean house. It has to be clean house.
Correct.
Yes.
What I would do, depending on which coach becomes available. That's another thing, because anything can happen.
Well, I know Scotty says right now, he wants Agnew as GM and Harbaugh as head coach. Yeah. Now, if Harbaugh is available, Tomlin is available, that's a different conversation.
Absolutely.
But we're going with what's available.
With what I think is going to be available, one of my top candidates for me is still Joe Brady, the OC for the Bills. I love Joe Brady, and I think he's matured enough as a coordinator. He's a Miami man, so obviously, when you're looking at experience, you're looking at the Harbaughs. You're looking at it might not be popular, but conversations will be had about John Gruden. You're gonna have conversation about Doug Peterson. There's certain coaches that might become available that they don't agree to contract extension. I don't think Belichick is gonna come back to the NFL. I really don't. I think like his time has passed in regards to even becoming. I mean, he can get into football operations.
That's the only position that I'd consider him for any team. I would hire him as the head of football, VP of football operations.
I would try to make a run. I don't think he's going to leave his job, because I think he loves what he's doing now. But I believe a successful opportunity will be Lane Kiffin. I love Lane Kiffin, but I don't even think he's in the stratosphere of becoming back to the NFL. I think he loves what he's doing.
So very quick, the initial question was hotshot coordinator, veteran head coach. You're up for anything, but it sounds like hotshot coordinator. You're still very open to.
I'm still open to like a Joe Brady type of thing. And the reason I see Lane Kiffin is he's had multiple stops. He's much older now. He went from being the youngest head coach in NFL history to an established head coach in the university ranks. I don't know if he's down to make the move like John Harbaugh did, where John Harbaugh has been back and forth in Stanford, 49ers, Michigan, now to the Chargers. Obviously, the whole situation with the Michigan football team. That's why he went and wanted to get an NFL.
Yeah, but so far it's looking really good for him.
It's looking great.
So
and
that's different.
We've missed out on Jim Harbaugh a couple of times, and that would have been a great hire, realistically. But I'm just realistically, I am open to every possibility that comes with the right people in command, because you can no longer do this. We've done this a close 20 years, right? Where we've recycled part of regimes, and we had no idea. Even when the whole
main thing would be to clean house. That would be the first.
You have to clean house. You got a young nucleus that you can build around. You got some players that you can move, some veteran players you can move, and you start fresh. But if you're gonna start fresh, Chris Shula, that's another one. I do like Chris Shula from the Rams. That I believe on name alone, that might be also a great sell to the fans. But
it would be a great. That's my thing though too. I saw that name. I've seen Chris Shula. He's the grandson of Don Shula.
Correct.
So yes, name alone, I'd be like, oh wow, and you get Mendoza at quarterback from Miami, Cuban immigrants are like, whoa, we got the whole thing. It's ready to go. But I'll tell you what, coordinator, hotshot coordinator, it's at the back of the line for me. 3, if you think about it, you had Mike McDaniel, Brian Flores, DC, Adam Gase, OC, hasn't worked. I want a guy. That's why I want a veteran head coach or a coach, a guy who was a head coach. I'm not against a rookie coordinator. I'm not, but it depends on where he comes from. I'm very iffy on Joe Brady. Like everybody was on Ben Johnson, right? And we'll see how that plays out from Chicago. Everybody wanted Ben Johnson when they talk about rookie coaches last year. The noise around the league was Ben Johnson.
Correct.
I was on the other one. I was Aaron Glenn. That's what I was like. I was like, I would get Aaron Glenn out of there. That would be the guy I would target. Former player. And then they're 0-3, but that dude is that. I feel that guy's he's a head coach. However, I am on the thing is like veteran head coach. That's what I want. And it depends on who's available. Of course, if Harbaugh's there, absolutely. You brought up Doug Peterson. Absolutely 100%. If it happens, he's one of those guys that he's in the head of the list for me. I want to interview him. He is a former player. He's a former Dolphin, but he's also a Super Bowl coach. We know what happened at Jacksonville. Does not matter. Interview him. I've heard Gruden. I saw Gruden. I know and again, seeing Chucky on the sidelines, that should be fun. Maybe he has a chip on his shoulder, whatever. But I don't know. That's like I'm not against any name. You talk to me about any veteran former head coach, I'm willing to listen. Correct. I'll listen on anybody, but really like coach it, the guys who've done it before. College coaches, I'm way off on. I'm like way off. There's like it's hard for me to be sold on any of that. I know Belichick. I've heard that. We've talked about it. I don't think he's a head coach anymore. I can't see him as that. I would not hire him as a head coach. I don't want to see him to break the record of Don Shula. I could see him as a VP of football operations, in Miami. I don't know. But the only thing I have a wrong issue with that could be like, oh, well, maybe as an office guy, he'll be better. The only issue is that who's he hiring as his coaches? Does he hire his son as the head coach of the Dolphins? Does he make his girlfriend the general manager? I don't know. So, I don't know if I want that. But I'm not against the idea. Like we actually talked about it yesterday. I know a lot of people were off on it, but yesterday we had a really good conversation, a constructive, good conversation about someone like a Mike McCarthy, who just left the Cowboys, veteran head coach, former champion. We know what he did in Dallas. We know he was coaching under Jerry Jones, but I wouldn't be against that whatsoever. Ron Rivera is a guy. He's the GM right now of UCLA. But Ron Rivera, former 2-time coach of the year, what he did in Carolina, bringing a team to the Super Bowl. He is a former player, played on a championship team, coached the Super Bowl, played the Super Bowl. He knows how to go one-on-one with a player. I wouldn't be against that.
Go ahead,
Alex, go ahead.
One name that, but I still think he's years away because he just got really deep into coaching. Jason Taylor. I think Jason Taylor.
We talked about him yesterday.
You talked about him yesterday?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Because I get not as a head coach right now.
Yeah.
Not as a coach right now. Now I would try to get him to come over to my staff. I would bring him on board and say, hey, let's do the fast track for you to be DC eventually. And then, hey, maybe if we got an older coach, move him on up through that grapevine to be eventually, maybe, because you go look at what he's done in Miami. Look at what he's done with Ruben Bain and company.
Great.
I mean, he knows how to develop and he knows how to coach. He has those guys fired up. But Rivera's one. Another name, because you go, okay, Rivera, Doug Peterson, former players, Mike McCarthy, championship coach. Another former coach, because you think you got the Matt Nagy's of the world and whatever, those guys that were coaching got fired, whatever. Those might be a little bit of cause to pause. But Arthur Smith, Saleh, Kingsbury, those guys, you kind of those are like guys who are one-offs. They're not really former players, but they got fired. Steve Welks, Frank Reich. Frank Reich is a former player. Steve Welks played for, I think, the Arena Football League, but he's done great in interim spots, and then he got fired. But that's a guy that's intriguing. And we know Antonio Pierce, Jared Mayo, decent names. There's one name that when you go, man, okay, he was a former coach. He didn't have success, but he's been a successful coordinator on a championship team. And when you think of this team, you think of offense, right? They have all the offensive firepower, but guess what? It wasn't their offense that won them the championships. It was the defense.
Talking about the Eagles?
Talking about the Chiefs. Steve Spagnuolo.
Oh, Spagnuolo.
I am not against Steve Spagnuolo at all. That's a name that you know, hire you if he was a name that you would bring in as a head coach. Yeah. And any of one of these veteran coaches, special like that, McCarthy, Rivera, whatever, Peterson, but maybe Rivera and Spagnuolo more. But those guys are guys that would say, okay, like you hire Spagnuolo, and as Spagnuolo, let's go ahead and get a guy from the Chiefs, want somebody in their department there, and you move that guy's your GM. Now you got two guys coinciding. I'm not, as a veteran coach, that's one guy that I'm not against. Spags is a guy that I think, you know, we keep thinking of these other names, but Spagnuolo is that under wild card for me that I'm like, you know, you go, oh, but he sucked in, you know, he wasn't, or he got fired in the Rams. Yeah. Everybody got fired. That's why they're all free. Yeah. You know, that's, you know, it's not, you know, Spagnuolo is different. Spagnuolo, I think he's earned, and players love him, but his units have been successful. And I think he is a guy that he wouldn't have to be calling plays. He's coached under one of the best ever in Andy Reid. He's learned, and he's been there and he's done that. So I'm with Spagnuolo is a guy that I'd be under, that I'd be down for. Rookie head coaches. Okay. You know, you bring up Joe Brady.
Correct.
I am a little, you know, Bobby Babich is another guy on the Buffalo Bills staff that people might bring up or whatever. Again, I'm very far off on coordinators. I'm like, you know, unless they're a former player, that's my key. If they're a former NFL player, you know, then I'm down with that. You know, Jared Mayo had a bad run. He's a former head coach, but he had a bad run in New England. Didn't work out. They made a mistake. They fired him. They didn't really give him an opportunity. They didn't put him up for success. But that's a guy maybe I'd be okay with an interview. And if it happened, it happened. But there's only one guy that's not a former player that I would be interested in. And I'll make the name, or I would be okay to listen about. And that's the Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator, Todd Mankin. He is an old school coach. He's interviewed for coaching spots before. He's not like these. He doesn't seem like a guy who thinks he's smarter than everybody else or whatever. But again, old school coach, but who adapts. You know, he gets Lamar Jackson. Look what that offense is. You know, look what he's done with Derrick Henry and implementing a Derrick Henry into their offense. He adjusts. He's a guy who's been on with John Harbaugh. I think that might be an interesting name to watch. A name, and I'd feel better than a Joe Brady. Former players. I brought him up yesterday. You know, there's a few of them. Oh, dude, yeah, of course. If you get Harbaugh, I hope they bring him over. But Hank Fraley, that's a guy, former player. Excuse me. Hank Fraley is a guy. He's the offensive line coach for the Detroit Lions. Okay. They didn't want to lose him. They lost their offensive coordinator, D coordinator. They paid him a lot of money to come back. He was supposed to be the OC in Chicago. They brought him back. He's the then they made him he's the O-line coach and the run game coordinator. His players love him. This is a former offensive lineman in the NFL. When you listen to him talk, you could tell he's a former player. You could see a coach. You could hear a coach come out of him. His players love him. They were like, they were like, hey, we don't want to lose him. We'll leak stories to the press. We'll make up stories. There's, you know, Panay Soul and the Glasgow. They were all over this guy. So he's a guy that I'd absolutely be interested in interviewing. And there's other names too. You have Jeff Albright from Atlanta. You have Mike Kafka, who's the OC with the Giants, former quarterback. Josh McCown with the Vikings. Those are former players. Those are guys that I would be okay listening to. College coaches, I'm a little off on. I know people brought up Kirby Smart was a name I saw in there. Dan Lanning out of Oregon. Lane Kiffin, who is a former coach in the league with the Raiders. Marcus Freeman with Notre Dame. There's a few names out there, but that's what I would, again, prefer. My preference is go veteran coach. So, and then, of course, yes, you have to clean house. That's the most important. You can't have a new coach and then keep Greer as GM. Not going to happen. Should not happen. I don't want to say it won't happen because you never know with this team. But yeah, let's see. Bobby, I want Harbaugh to bring. Yes. All I know is I started the Agnew training last year for GM. So I'm laying receipts. Now that guy starts my rebuild. There you go. So Agnew, I have to write his name down. I'm going to look more into him. But we are rolling into October. Right around the corner. I'm hearing Halloween costumes. Kids already know what they want to do, what they want to be. Have your kids decided what they want to do for Halloween?
I think my son has kind of an idea. Obviously, my daughter's already 18, so she's a whole different brand of costumes now that you got to monitor and kind of like see what they're dressing up as. But my son has the idea of being the Slim Reaper, so he wants to be the Reaper costume and then get a Kevin Durant jersey, since they call him the Slim Reaper. So that's what he wants to do.
Creative,
but we'll
that's
see.
creative.
We'll see what ends up being. We might just do the old blanket ghost look that I go for. A very cheap, affordable costume that we did as kids. But we'll see, man. They really don't even give a shit anymore. They just want candy. My son has come up with this plan of how he can get candy multiple times from different people in the same neighborhood. So he'll come in a scooter one time, and then he wants to go on his bike the next one, change his costume, change one thing. And I'm like, you've really schemed this plan of how to like just deceive people and continue to get candy nonstop, man. It's like,
part
of me, I'm proud of you, but goddamn, man.
Yeah.
Positive energy, bro. Positive energy, dude.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's like, if I do this, it's like Mr. Schemer. But
did you post something about DraftKings?
Who?
Did you post a contest about DraftKings? Is there a DraftKings contest?
No.
I see a draft from Twitch, DraftKings.com, DraftKings contest. I don't know what that's about. But anyway.
Oh, all right.
I don't know where that came from. That came from us. But yeah, maybe it was a tie. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And there's some news there. Former Dolphins quarterback, Pittsburgh Steelers backup quarterback Skylar Thompson was assaulted and robbed.
Jesus.
That just came out. I think he's okay. Minor injuries, I think he said. So
yeah,
good for that. That sucks. That's he sustained facial bruises and a cut lip, but did not require hospitalization. That really does suck.
Christ.
What that? Wait,
he's in Ireland.
It happened in Dublin. Yeah, Dublin.
Jesus Christ.
Friday night in Dublin.
You got to be careful, man. When you go overseas, that's insane. And it's weird because these guys should be going out together or with security. Did you see the discrepancies, man, between the flights? I saw the viral video of the Steelers traveling compared to Minnesota. Minnesota, all their players traveling first class. They had the amenities, sleeping. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, they traveled over, like, I guess, last minute. And they were just, like, in regular class. Like, I'm like, dude, this is a long-ass flight for a professional football team. This should be a chartered flight. Like, these owners are multi-billionaires. What are you doing? It's like, oh, yeah, we're here. We're just waiting for Delta. We're going to board now.
Oh, look at that. College game day heading to Tuscaloosa for next weekend for Alabama versus Vanderbilt.
Whoop,
Vanderbilt, man. Is Vanderbilt still undefeated? I did not check in on them yesterday. Vanderbilt was undefeated.
I think so, man.
They got a schedule on them, man. They're in Nashville.
They have a great team, bro. They have a
5-0. They're ranked 18th. They're 5-0, and they won 55-35 against Utah State.
That is perfect. And I remember I finally saw last time we were in Tennessee to visit you, man. They were remodeling the stadium, and I saw that now it was completed. It looks beautiful. I love the Vanderbilt campus in Nashville.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, that's a great campus. It's a great school. They beat Virginia Tech. They've beaten South Carolina. So they beat Lennar Sellers. Georgia State 70-21, 55-35 yesterday. And but here's their up and coming schedule. Alabama, LSU, Missouri, Texas, Auburn. I mean, that's crazy.
Wow.
And of course, Tennessee at the end of the year. But like, if they could come out of that with like a lot, just like
only one loss,
but like whoa, yeah, all right, we'll have to do that. But Tati wouldn't go check. That's why she's on her Twitch right now. I haven't been on Twitch in a long time, so
I've never been on Twitch. It's funny.
Yeah,
like I'm falling behind, man. I'm falling behind.
Yeah, you're waiting on it. Yeah, you don't have anything.
Nothing, man. Like legit. I'm like, I got this.
Minus X, and you don't hardly go on there unless you're responding to something about heat. But
exactly.
and well, they're talking about college. What about the Miami Hurricanes? Like, what? I mean, dude,
championship.
That was. In the game, with the Florida game, it seemed like it was going to be like old, same old, like where they let it fall out of their hands and there's your upset. But no, they sealed the deal. Carson Beck did not have a good game and did not have a strong game. It was a struggle, but that defensive line wakes up. Ruben Bain is a freaking monster. That could be possibly the number one overall pick, this coming draft. Miami is something else. And I mean, and now you go against Florida State, who got upset yesterday by Virginia Tech, right? Or Virginia. Was it Virginia or Virginia Tech that upset Florida State?
I don't even know which.
Either way, that guy got ran over.
I just saw the meme. Yeah,
it was like, and he's gone. It was like a tsunami, but very cool. Let's see. Why can't this trainer understand the philosophy of building from the trenches and out? We need to build a foundation.
Yeah, Virginia. It was Virginia.
Fair enough, Mudbone. Let me ask you this: since we're an hour and a half in, I know we're close to wrap up, but I haven't asked you. I think we're close to preseason basketball here for the Miami Heat.
We are.
Let me just ask you very quick. This won't be our Heat episode yet, because we will talk about the season and everything. But they brought back Precious.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling about that?
Well, I'm excited because we needed a serviceable backup 5 or backup big for the rotation, because you only had 3 right now on the roster with Nico, with Bam, and with Khalil. So that you needed to have a little bit of depth. And I know people are gonna, we're over the tax. Remember, these caps, the cap is manageable because you do not have to be under tax until the last regular season game, or where the league year ends. So obviously there's going to be some more moves in regards to Terry. But the news obviously is Tyler being out for the next few months, possibly the first month of the season, the first 2 months. But training camp is around the corner. A media day is tomorrow. And then they'll go off into their training camp, and the first preseason game, they're actually going to be playing in Puerto Rico, October 4th. They're going to be playing the Magic. So that's a huge, huge news as well. Globally, the NBA and basketball right now, it's going into another dimension, even with the possibility of European leagues now associated with the NBA, where the major European soccer teams are going to be even developing another arm of their organizations and starting professional basketball teams. Some of them already do, FC Barcelona, Real Madrid, but we're talking now about a global game across the board. So it's an exciting time for basketball. It's an exciting time for the Heat. We have a young nucleus. We'll see how different opportunities, who steps up. And like I said, we'll go more in depth when we do our Heat episodes, but I'm just excited where you go with Precious is someone that someone that has been part of the system. His limitations now. You're not going to ask too much of him, but it gives you that security blanket and a relief minute for Bam and Khalil. Either way, they were going to be the sub patterns and the way you would run those lineups, and you kind of stagger them. It was still going to be either Bam or Khalil or Jovic on the floor always at all times. Now those combinations could change a little bit more. You could play a little bit smaller. You do have athletic wings, even with Tyler going down. So this team is hungry. This team is young, and these situations create opportunities for others. I don't think Caspers is going to play right away, but I do think I think Drew Smith is going to be part of the rotation. Obviously, Mitchell will most likely start now with Hero being out. The debate is still whether you start Nico or Khalil next to Bam. I think right now there's an inclination towards Nico. That could change. But either way, I'm just excited. Obviously, drama-free. This team seems to be a team that is going to be a little bit more cohesive with one another, since there's no clear alpha male. This is really Bam's team now. So you're going to see a more comfortable team, a rejuvenated Spo, rejuvenated offensive philosophies, in my opinion. So I'm just excited for what's to come. I'm always excited for a start of a new season because you want to see progress. But obviously, you got to see where the state of your team is. And health-wise is the most important thing as well. So you want to make sure everybody's healthy. These knack injuries are going to happen. But it's an exciting time to see, kind of like media day is always a cohesive day to hang out. You get into the combos of team unity, team bonding. And obviously also a shout out to Andy Ellisberg, which I don't know if you saw the article today. He's had a very difficult year. A lot of people made a test to when he was in the draft that he was in a wheelchair. And he was in the hospital for a prolonged period of time. He had multiple infections, and the article came out today with Ira Winderman.
I didn't know. Oh, damn.
Yeah. He had part of his foot amputated, so he's had a lot of health issues. But he's back in tracking. Andy is one of even for the common fan, people don't know who the hell Andy Ellisberg is, but Andy Ellisberg is the mastermind of the cap in the whole NBA. He's the longest tenured Heat employee. He's an original Heat employee. And he's a staple. I mean, you literally can't miss him. The guy's huge, but he's awesome, man. So, and when you saw him in the draft show, you kind of saw him in a wheelchair, and you're like, wow, what's wrong with Andy? And now obviously the news comes out, and the Miami Heat are a class organization. So Andy Elisburg is an essential part of them. And I'm just happy to see from a human being perspective to another human being that he's healthy and that he's getting back to do what he loves, which is true. A lot of these people don't realize when you're a general manager, when you're a team executive, when you're a coach, these guys dedicate their life to this sport where you're sacrificing even family time. For some of them, this is their family. Some people have no wives or kids. So it's always cool to see a success story like that and a team unite around him. So this year, there might be some troubled times, but it has the making of a developmental year, a young nucleus, kind of like a changing of the guard with the Miami Heat. This is a different type of team going forward.
I love it. I love it. We'll have a more in-depth Miami Heat show soon. You know, we'll go over just the team, the schedule, where our feelings are. You know, Alex will have them going 82-0 or whatever the heck their schedule. Always, you know, they're going to be the number one seed, and
for sure. Nonstop.
Joker, Nico, Nico will have an MVP season.
Nico's gonna make the biggest jump this year, man. I'm telling you. Offensively, you're gonna see it.
Hey guys, any changes you would make to this lineup? I have Knicks, Gibbs, Hampton, Wilson, London, Warren, Derrick Henry. You know what I think this is? Now that I'm thinking about that, I'm gonna double check. But what changes? Well, it really depends. Okay, Bo Nix. I'm going to answer this. If you're watching us, if you're watching our fantasy football show, then I'll know that you're talking about something else. But it is Sunday, isn't it? So that would mean I'm pretty sure our fantasy football show is on today.
Oh,
all right.
Yeah, wrong.
Here it is. Yeah, so she's answering. Okay, so that's what's happening there. Okay. So that's what it is. I don't have to change the. Okay, all good. I figured it out, Tot. Here. That's what's going on. That's what it is. Never mind. I was wondering where those Twitch comments were coming from, but now I figured it out. On FTSN Extra, they're live on right now. Justin Burley is cooking up some food while answering fantasy football questions. I love their shows, by the way. If you play fantasy football, like Alex does, who gets it wrong every week. But if you play fantasy sports like Alex and I, and you want to get ahead of the game, because that's why Alex is 0-3, like the Dolphins. He does not watch Fantasy Now Plus. He has to do better. If he did, he'd have a winning record. So I'm going to give them a plug here because Josh Kimmel, Justin Burley, and the crew, man, they put in the work, and they've partnered with Underdog. Recently, they have their shows. They got like 3 shows on FTSN, 3 shows on FTSN Extra. They got extra stuff on their YouTube page. I think they're close to, if not have already broken 1,000 subs. They got fantasynowplus.com. Those guys are killing it. Justin Murley actually got number 1. He ranked number 1, I believe, in running back rankings recently. Out of thousands and thousands of fantasy football guys, he was ranked number 1 in the rankings for ranking running backs. And I believe that's what happened. And Josh Kimmel was like in the top 10 of tight ends or something. So these guys know what they're talking about. They're amazing. They put out great content. So if you like fantasy sports, fantasy football, they're going to get bigger. They're going to start doing fantasy basketball soon. I actually just did my dynasty. Did I tell you that I did a fantasy dynasty basketball league?
No,
I did. Hey Tati, yeah, throw that back. Okay. I need my phone back. I threw it to her, so you can look. You said it out loud. I don't have it in my head. I don't even remember what I did yesterday. You think I'm gonna remember my league? My memory sucks.
Who am I?
I know who I am sometimes, but yeah. So like, let me just tell you, Alex. My players here.
Okay. Shoot.
So that doesn't make any sense. That sounds disgusting.
Sorry, just stretching here.
Because it's Dynasty. So with Dynasty, I didn't know Dynasty until Josh Kimmel joined the channel and he explained everything to me. So, which is a couple years back now. But my first pick was SGA.
Okay.
I know that for a fact. I did draft SGA. I think
that's a good start.
3rd or 4th pick.
Yeah,
But
so Joker probably went first.
I think he did. But I'll just tell you my roster overall because I don't think they have I don't think we have all the picks here. But SGA, DeMar DeRozan, Jalen Williams, Franz Wagner, Porzingis, Kuminga, Sabonis, Derek White. This is the one where I think I took it's listed out. They're listed out, but it's not where I drafted them. So I
got you. Don't worry.
But Joel Embiid, Edgar Demon, Cedric Coward, VJ Edgecombe, Andrew Wiggins, Pele Larson, Rosa Shear from Atlanta, Cam Whitmore, Bazilis, Mateusz Bazilis.
That might be your best pick overall, believe it or not.
Noah Asankwa from Chicago.
Yeah.
Carter Bryant from San Antonio. Murray Boyles from Toronto. Rasheer Fleming, Phoenix. Khalil Ware, Miami. Filipski from Utah. Danny Wolf, Brooklyn.
From the Nets, correct.
And Thomas Sarber from
OKC, which is going to miss the season, which sucks for them.
Well, and again, this is Dynasty.
Yeah,
so.
Dynasty,
But I felt pretty good. I felt pretty good about my draft, you know?
Yeah.
I know with Joel Embiid, it's a question mark what's going to happen this year and what's going to happen in his career. But he was still sitting there. I forgot what draft pick that was. But I was like, I'm just going to just do it. I was just going to do it. If he starts, he starts. But anyway.
Take him, bro.
Man, this has been a great show, a fun show. Talked about a lot, you know. Got a laid back, no real kind of agenda. You know, but that's all right. That's sometimes our best. That's our best shows. You know, we got Tabitha in here. We had some fantasy football questions that had nothing to do with us, but now we figure that out. Mudbone, Scotty, Tati dropping in the background.
Yeah,
Lou,
awesome.
Sammy, Phins TV, which is Sammy. I don't want to miss out on anybody. DSG, Damian, Russ, everyone. Appreciate you all tuning in. Tomorrow we should be live here. Still working on the time for Monday Night Football pregame. We will be on immediately after the game for postgame. Me and Evan. Win, lose, or draw. If it's a loss, you know it's going to be lively. So win,
I'll try to join you. I'll try to join you guys for postgame. Let's see if I can make it.
I love it. I would love that.
Okay.
Don't win or lose. Win or lose
for sure. Yeah, my appearance is not based on if we win or lose. I promise you. My appearance is based solely on my eyes are open and I'm awake.
If they win, I was like, I'm gonna be there, bro. They lose,
yeah,
hey, bro. I'm sleeping.
I'm so tired, dog.
Me right now.
My god, my head. Yeah. Oh my god, my head is blasting, dude. I gotta go.
Mid-stroke. Man, just stop the phone call. Anyway, Alex, any final thoughts, bro?
Just waiting anxiously for tomorrow. However, really excited for our color scheme at least. I love the jerseys. I love the look on the field. Like I was telling you before our show started, the color scheme with that darker blue, which looks like black, depending on a certain angle, kind of brings us back to our 90s logo where we identify with the team. That darker blue, that meaner dolphin look. So it's really cool to see believe it or not, I'm an aesthetics type of person. When I see the field and when I see the end zone, I miss those Dolphins end zones that they were like darker colors and the big Dolphins and I'm like, kind of when you see the Miami playing, you're like, like that's not my home team. Like, come on.
And shout out to Vivito in Puerto Rico. I just saw the like from Facebook. Tuning in right now, you know. So, hola Vivito, ¿cómo estás? He flew to Puerto Rico yesterday.
Is he going to be in Puerto Rico until next Saturday too, or no?
Oh,
is he going to go to the Heat game?
I don't think he's going to the Heat game because it's a 3-hour trip.
Man,
it's a 3-hour trip. But my father-in-law is in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
I think for the next couple weeks. I think.
Okay.
So
I miss him. Big hugs to him.
Yes. So he's off there, but it's all good. Need that blackout HN jersey. It's those jerseys are. I know. Look, yes, we just want to win, obviously.
Yeah,
you know,
but
whatever.
Those look nice.
But those are clean jerseys, dude. I definitely want that jersey, and I love Devon H. Like I say, man, calm down. Like don't buy a current player jersey, but if you are, I would get an ancient jersey.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but if you could get a custom jersey. Now, Sammy, if Sammy's watching, I'd love to know if he got his jersey in. I know he said he'd ordered a jersey
from Temu,
and I want to know if he actually got it. You know. So anyway, we thank you all for joining us this beautiful Sunday morning here. Well, I'd say here. Here in Nashville, Tennessee, or Doral, or if you're watching from Hialeah. So we appreciate you.
Or like Vivito from Puerto Rico. Good job.
Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. So if you're watching from where you're watching, if you're watching from Cuba or from
Cuba.
I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm just
the only one you're gonna say right is España because it has
there you go. Sammy jumped in. He says he will do the unboxing when it gets here.
Beautiful.
We'll do it live on the show. He'll unbox it.
We'll do it.
It's gray. The letters are red. Not blue but purple. You know?
I love this jersey. Thank you, Temu. Appreciate it.
It says Vikings on it, not Dolphins. Or sharks. Sammy's like return descender.
Dolphins without an H
from New York. See, there you go. I'm gonna try to do accents for everything. Just try to from New York.
From New York.
Why you don't like that? You don't like that over there?
Yes, it's a horrible.
You don't like that over there, huh? Judging? She always makes comments. You know what I mean? Like she's the what do you call it? The fun police. You know, if you're having fun, she goes in and stop what you're doing.
Why are you
laughing? Be angry?
Why are you enjoying your life without me? It's like what?
Okay. Why are you happy right now?
Yeah.
I'm not here.
Yeah.
You can't be happy while I'm here. Like I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Are you smiling?
Alex is saying that. See, fun police. She's like, don't say that. I'm like, I'm sorry, honey. No, honey, you're fun. I love you, baby. I love you so much. I'm gonna smooch the hell out of you after this show. Big wet one.
Grrr.
These my lips.
Give her that grrr.
Forget about it. But this is forget about it.
Forget about it.
All right. So look, we gotta get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching. We appreciate you. I'm so happy that we were able to do this. It's been a little grrr. Like and subscribe. And since we did talk Dolphins, it's just easier saying it that way. Like and subscribe. And I know it's hard if you're a Dolphins fan, but hey, we do it anyway. It's in our veins. It's in our blood. Like, subscribe, and most importantly, Phins up. Peace.
Yo, gringos in the house. Straight out of Hialeah, no doubt. East 10th Street, but we play out. Here we bring the Miami crowd. Alex, the boy with the B. Step into rhythm, feel the heat. Street vibes mixing with the Latin tree. In our flow, the two worlds